Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan, and I am back with another VDL battle. So this week we're up against Goomy and the Rolled Gold Pretzels. Now, Goomy's team is pretty scary for me. I was sucking wind a lot in some mock battles with my original team ideas because they just kept losing to fast Aggron under Tailwind. I just see the steely face of Aggron sitting next to Tornadus as a defeat screen rolled. So we're going to do that this week. So we audibled into a Trick Room team with a fast option. But seeing the Aggron and the Tornadus does make me want to lean much more heavily into this Trick Room mode. I don't really think he's got a good way to take it down. If he leads something with Taunt, I fake out the thing next to the Taunter and Trick Room goes up. And if he leads Heracross with Close Combat, most Heracross sets don't take out this Audino set. But I just fake out the Heracross anyway because nothing else is going to do nearly as much damage. So going into this game, I expect Golurk to really put in some work this week. I think this is likely to be a faster Aggron set, which will let me underspeed it Trick Room, which will be good for me. I don't think that Ditto's going to come much, and Garchomp is a really weird bring this week from my point of view, because it seems really bad into a lot of my team. But I'm expecting some weird sets out of Goomy, hence the fast Aggron fear leading into it. But let's just go ahead and see what happens. So he does lead that Tornadus Aggron, and I am very happy that I've got a Trick Room option. So fake out into either of these should guarantee Trick Room going up. Aggron does have some outside chance to stop it if I don't fake out the Aggron. And the Tornadus, if it's running Air Slash, could try and flinch it, but I like the odds of not flinching to an Air Slash because why would he Air Slash the Audino instead of the Rillaboom? And then I think Trick Room just goes up here. So this is a pretty straightforward turn for me because Tornadus retreats, Garchomp comes out, and here you'll see that it is Grassy Seed Garchomp. So it goes to +1 defense immediately, and there's a tech move that I wish I brought, but I ended up not bringing. That would have been very good for this match, and I'll keep it in mind for the future. But Trick Room goes up, and I know I can work down this Garchomp over time. Now, looking at that Aggron's health bar, I can't tell if there's a pixel missing from it or not. It looks like it might have a pixel missing, and then a high horsepower is just going to OHKO it, but if there's not that pixel missing, then it survives on Sturdy. So I'm just going to Helping Hand high horsepower, which should get through a defensively boosted Aggron, and I think that pixel's missing, so I'm just going to pick up that KO right here into Aggron. However, I'm very sad to alert everybody that the pixel is not in fact missing, and that crit is annoying, by the way. But this high horsepower connects, and he does still have Sturdy. The pixels in this game, man, the pixels. Rock Slide will connect, deal some decent damage. And even though the Aggron survived, it's not in the best position because Rillaboom threatens it with priority. Audino, even with Flamethrower, can take it out. But getting into this Golurk is going to be really important for me. S-Cav is not going to be as great because of the +1 defense on the Garchomp. So my plan here is to find a way to put Golurk in under Trick Room because it should just be able to pick up KOs. And part of that was me thinking Poltergeist really still hits Garchomp really hard. Spoiler alert, Grassy Seed. But that comes later. But don't worry, we make up for misplays. Everyone has them. High horsepower still does hit it hard though in this situation. So I'll break a sash on this Tornadus if it has one. Kind of wish this went into the Garchomp now, even a Wood Hammer. But this Rock Slide will come on out, and then I'll get a basically clean double switch, which is pretty nice for me because no guard with rock slides from this thing is going to threaten everything on the team. SCAV can do damage to most things except the Garchomp set, and Audino actually with Flamethrower. That was primarily for Vikavolt, which was an issue a lot for my team outside of the Golurk sets. So I did want Flamethrower for some additional coverage, and it also hits Heracross decently well. But I'm just going to Helping Hand, get some boosted attacks out, and I am going to annihilate this Garchomp with a Poltergeist because I know how moves work. Yes, revel in the glory. You know what's happening. Revel in it. Revel in the glory. Yeah, so this is clearly not my best moment, because I forget how Poltergeist and Grassy Seed work. And I just let him get a free turn of damage out, which is a Stomping Tantrum into Audino, which is super bulky, and then Hurricane into Audino. So I let him get, 2/3 on Audino for free, and I waste a turn of Trick Room. So, not my best moment. A high horsepower there probably does what I need it to do. So, we're going to disregard that, and now my thought is, I don't know what I'm going to do about this Garchomp, so I'm just going to kill everything around it and then try and chip it down with everything at the end. Because it doesn't have a lot of stopping power, it looks like. So, based on the damage onto that Audino, it's a very bulky Garchomp as well. So, with limited stopping power, I'm going to be happy with just killing everything around it. And that's the current plan. Maybe I'll get one or two more good shots onto it later. Goomy's also playing much slower than I've ever seen him play before. Normally he insta-locks 3 seconds into each turn. I'll pick up a KO here on this Aggron. Even through everything here. And then that does, I'm not going to lie and say that's good chip onto the Garchomp, but it's chip. But the Garchomp uses Stomping Tantrum, goes into Protect. And I'm in a very odd spot here. Because he's revealed Hurricane. Golurk has no guard, so that's going to be pretty bad for me. And I would love to get Trick Room up again. But if he doubles into me and KOs, then I don't get it. But I do get some free attacks off. So depending on what he sends out, I'm going to have a couple different plans here. I believe he will be sending out the Tornadus. This is a couple days after the match that I'm recording it. I had 2 drafts this weekend that I was prepping for, as well as another match. So I had to take a little bit of time on this one to make sure that it had the level of coverage that it deserved for a match of this quality, because it is a very quality match. So my thought here is that he absolutely doubles into the Audino and kills it. I could go for double protect and get a free attack off, but I don't think my odds are favorable doing that. I'd rather just do as much with it this turn as possible, so I'm just going to Helping Hand because that's the only thing it would be able to do before dying. And let's just see what a Rock Slide can do. So Helping Hand, Rock Slide on Life Orb, Golurk. Yeah, this is we're about to see some bodies because he does double into the Audino. So if I was able to get a double protect there, that's another, that could have bought me a turn, but not odds I like there. So I'll just take out this Magmortar, which I see as Life Orb as well. Also, Shiny Magmortar, not a fan. So now I've got Golurk and SCAV against Tornadus and Garchomp, which is less bad than me than it seems. We're going to have to play some Protect Mind games, and I believe he's revealed Hurricane at this point, so I know he has only got 100% accuracy into the Golurk, and the SCAV he's got to hit something with. Here I have to decide what I want to try and get the damage on, and it seems like this way I'm getting damage equally onto both of them. The Torn is going to protect. This Stomping Tantrum comes out. It's not going to do too much. Like, that is a very bulky Garchomp with that damage roll. I'll do some decent chip to the Garchomp there. I got a crit. That's nice considering the defense on it. And then I'll get an Iron Head to go into it, which again, not a lot of damage. I'll take some Rough Skin there. And I've got to figure out how to kill this Garchomp. So, a double up, I'm pretty sure kills it with Iron Head and High Horsepower. I don't know if just a High Horsepower at this range kills it, but he could also very obviously protect it, and a Rock Slide would be the play again, but he's seen me use Rock Slide before, and I don't know. It just seemed like he might call that Rock Slide play. But he just hits a Hurricane here. High Horsepower does nothing, so I attacked straight to the double, so that was a good protect call from him. And the S-Cav is going to get one more attack off. So here is a pretty substantial misplay on Goomy's end. He Rain Dances. It's not as obvious as my misplay with the Poltergeist, but this will also just waste a turn of attacks from the Tornadus. Because with this Stomping Tantrum, he will be able to KO the S-Cav, and now he's just going to be attacking into the Golurk, which he's probably thinking he guarantees 100% accuracy, but he should know that this is no guard. So at this point, I should have effectively locked up the game. We both wasted a turn, and based on damage rolls that I've seen so far, I also don't think this Tornadus is max special attack, and even if it was, I don't know if it kills from this range, and I 100% know my Rock Slide kills from this range. So Game 1's going to go in the books for me at this point. It'll just be getting off this Rock Slide, and I'm thinking about like what to do in Game 2 here. I'm pretty happy with everything that's been going on with my plan so far. No. Why? Pain. There is such pain. So, moving into Game 2. My thoughts here are, it felt really good. I felt like I should win. We both made a mistake that cost us basically a full turn of damage, but I wanted an additional way to hit the Garchomp more effectively, and while this Arctovish is designed to potentially go fast, it also functions under Trick Room better than his entire team, assuming that is a fast Aggron. So, the Arctovish switch instead of the S-Cav, which only looks marginal into a lot of this stuff, makes a lot of sense here to me. So moving into this game, it's basically the same game plan, but we are going to try to minimize the effects of RNG by, I guess us both wasting a turn hurt me more than him because he had the move that could have the additional effect on it, so it was more of a blunder for me than it was for him. But yeah, let's go ahead and give it a shot here. So we're going to be taking a look at his lead right here, and we'll see that he's changed it up to Heracross and Garchomp. This is a potential Trick Room denial lead on Rock Slide, because a Rock Slide flinch and I'm in for a bad day. Like, he could just go close combat Rock Slide, because I'm not Choppleberry this week. So it's probably his best way to try to stop Trick Room is to go for the Rock Slide flinches, and I've played a match with him before where Rock Slide flinches did end up mattering a substantial amount as well. But odds are obviously in my favor to do it that way, so I'm just gonna go for it. So Fake Out comes out. Mag Mortar does nothing, or not nothing, it does a decent amount. He tries to get the flinch. And I get Trick Room up. Okay. So, I'm suddenly in a very good position. However, I don't want either of my things in the back to take unnecessary damage in this slot. So, if I want a change, it's a lot harder. If I want to swap something out, it's a lot harder because I'm not carrying U-turn. But I do think attacking into that Mag Mortar is going to give me the best shot because I don't think he's going to do anything into this Arctivish slot. That's going to do substantial enough damage, and then the Arctivish is going to threaten the Garchomp. Also, since we know it has Yachi Berry, I mean not Yachi Berry, it has Grassy Seed, I assume the Yachi Berry, if he's running it, is going to be on that Tornadus, although Focus Sash makes sense on the Tornadus as well. That's going to be something that I'm going to be keeping an eye out on. In my mind, it's probably Focus Sash. But here, I'll get a high horsepower off on this Mag Mortar, and I will pick up the KO. And he will get a Flame Body Burn, which is frustrating. But it comes with the territory there. Stomping Tantrum comes off into the Arctivish, and it does a decent chunk, but about what I expected. And now I'm going to be able to threaten everything with this Rillaboom Arctivish combo, even though Rillaboom is burned. And basically I just want to soften his team up for some late game Golurk shenanigans. So Heracross comes on out, and Heracross is kind of scary into my team. Close combat's going to hit, obviously, the Arctivish and the Audino very well, but in this situation, I just think a double up onto it is going to deal enough damage. Like, I'm okay with letting this Garchomp live, because I don't think the Garchomp kills the Arctivish here. Break a potential Sash there, and then with that Grassy Glide chip, this should always be enough to take it down. And I'm in a very advantageous position, even with a burned Rillaboom and a weakened Arctivish. So we'll see what he has in the back here. Aggron is a potential issue if it's actually a slow Aggron and not a fast Aggron, but the way he played Game 1 makes me think it's a fast Aggron. And he will send out the Tornadus, so I should be fine here. I'm just going to deal as much damage to it as I can and try to take out the Garchomp along the way. Basically, I'm going to try to set up a late game where I've got the Garchomp dead and I've got the Golurk against the Tornadus, because I'll be able to execute that very well. This should be pretty much a free switch in. Garchomp's going to take a very substantial chunk here if he doesn't protect. Freeze Dry is potentially better, but I was doing some calcs, and at +1 defense with the set I was running, he would have to have a lot of straight defense investment, not just HP investment, for it to be better, and he does, actually, so Freeze Dry is potentially better. But I do get the flinch on Garchomp there, which is nice. It should wrap up this set for me, or this game for me. Rock Slide's going to come on out, and then I'll have options here. I do want to see if this Tornadus is going to have a Yachi Berry on it. So I think this double up, even with Yachi Berry, should be enough to kill Tornadus, unless it is incredibly, incredibly bulky, which I know it has a bit of bulk based on previous sets, but a Garchomp Protect seemed pretty standard. He's going to set up Tailwind for when Trick Room ends, which is not going to be hugely necessary here, but I guess he's playing in case I've got Vanillix in the back, which I could. So it's probably smart on his end, but if I'm him, I'm going for the Confuse. Tornadus takes a chunk, even though it's multi-target here. And I do see that it is Yachi Berry, so from this range it actually might not die. But yeah, I do get the freeze there, which not hugely important because he can't kill the Golurk from this range, and Rock Slide's just not gonna... Rock Slide's gonna do it. because I'll be able to just take down this Garchomp, get from there with a Freeze Dry, and get a Rock Slide off for a little bit of chip on the Garchomp and killing the Tornadus. I can't remember exactly what I click into this Garchomp, but Freeze Dry seems right. Yeah. Get the freeze on the Torn. Garchomp goes for Rock Slide to try and get some flinches. I get a Freeze Dry off. And I'll lock up this game. So yeah, heartbreaking game 1 with a little bit of RNG, but game 2 went my way, and I just did what the team was designed to do, but I'm sure he'll have some counterplay for it in game 3, because Goomy's a very quality player. I just wish I could have seen the counterplay a bit more this game and not had the score be a bit different. But I'll see you guys for game 2. So moving into game 3, I basically just need to go with the exact same plan. I have to dare him to beat it, and if he does, more power to him, but if he can't, I'll just set myself up with the Golurk endgame again, which statistically should be in my favor, even if he can get the percent confuse rolls on it. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm really interested to see what he does to counter it. I expect Heracross to do more work here. I wasn't able to ID the item on it last time. It could be Focus Sash. I could see it. The Magmortar is the Life Orb, so it's not Life Orb. Maybe some kind of choice item, maybe an Expert Belt, like anything like that, and it really is an issue for the Audino. So it is the priority Fake Out target to get Trick Room up. But yeah, we're just gonna dive straight ahead into the game here. Again, Goomy is taking, a minute 15 to lock in, which is a minute 10 longer than he normally takes to lock in. So I'm feeling decent that he doesn't have just an obvious way to stop me at this point, which is always fun. But we'll see how the battle goes. I say this most of the time I see this, but Goomy's trainer card, top tier, definite top tier trainer card. So we go into the battle, and he leads with Tornadus Heracross. Okay, so if this Tornadus has Taunt, it's ideal for me, because that's just a completely wasted turn, and I can fake out the Heracross. I fake out Heracross 100% here, and he doesn't have a way to stop my Trick Room from going up. It's very nice. Like, this is one of the leads that it looks annoying on paper, but with what I brought, it just goes up. So I'll go ahead and put up Trick Room and see what we can do from here. Aggron comes out, and now we're in the mind games because he's going to be playing very defensively, and I have to decide where he makes his switches into what, and how do I try and read them. Like here, the Heracross obviously threatens the Rillaboom and the Audino, but the Rillaboom threatens the Aggron. I think Rillaboom probably survives something from most Heracrosses here, especially since it's not Choice Band. That could high horsepower, but it would be very easy to switch into the Tornadus or the Garchomp if he has that in the back. But it's probably the most potential direct damage, and then I think a Flamethrower Heracross or a double into the Aggron to try and kill it through Sturdy. Like, either of these are reasonable choices. And he does switch out here, and in comes the Garchomp. So a burn here would be really nice, because this is not going to kill, but it will do a decent chunk of damage. Flamethrower goes off, and high horsepower will connect. Rillaboom is very strong, but the Garchomp is so bulky. And after that damage, Mega Horn might actually pick up this KO. So I'm down Rillaboom. So that was very good defensive play on his end. Probably something I should have seen coming. And a +1 Heracross threatens everything on my team. But it is also very threatened by both Arctivish and the Golurk in the back. I really want to use an ice move into the Garchomp here, but I feel like part of me thinks he switches, but he also has the +1 defense. Protect on the Garchomp makes a lot of sense here. A Heracross switch makes sense. Like, there are a lot of... I don't think there's an objectively right play from him in this situation. So I can't make a play to counter the objectively right play. So I just need to decide what I want to try to counter. And here I'm thinking if this is... yeah, that was not it. But I was thinking if this is Focus Sash, I want to make sure I take it down. And if he switches into Aggron, I also want to take it down through the Focus Sash. But it's a very good protect on his end. He gets a free bit of chunk from this Rock Slide. Audino takes it like an absolute champ. But not the best looking position for me at this point. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fine, but he's called my attacks correctly, and I don't think my attacks have been the most straightforward ones. Like, they are probably more on the obvious side, but like, I called the protect on Garchomp there, and he protected the Heracross. Like, there's not much you can do there. I knew one of them would protect, so I had to double into the other because... Or I didn't have to double into the other, but I had to attack the Vish into the other. Speaking of the Vish, Fish's Friend comes out. It does so much damage. Aggron will survive again because of Sturdy. Rock Slide comes, it'll put some chip on the Drake Arctovish, and now I've got to consider Garchomp damage, because if I leave this Garchomp alive too long, then I might have issues chipping it down while dealing with everything else that's on his team. So, Arctovish, I don't know. I know my Trick Room's expiring. I think a switch into Audino's not the worst thing in the world, and Attack 2 is not the worst thing in the world, but again, Garchomp Protect just feels so likely. A Rock Slide covers for the Aggron staying in and switching, but this game just overall felt weird. Like, there are a bunch of potential good plays, but nothing that is obvious best against every potential response. And they all seem relatively equal. Like, yeah, the Garchomp Protect, pretty easy to call. There's a world where I should have left this Aggron alive, because now he gets in the Heracross, and now we've got, now we've got the true 50-50 mind game coming up, so I want to talk about this. I know he has Protect on Heracross. I assume he has Close Combat on Heracross. I know a double up will kill my Audino, but I also know that I can one-shot basically every Heracross with this Golurk using Poltergeist. So, the play is either Protect and attack the Heracross thinking he's going to Close Combat, take it out, and then I'll get Trick Room up the next turn and win. But if he protects his Heracross, then I lose, basically. Or the play is to just go for Trick Room, assume he protects, and put some damage on the Garchomp, in which case, if I'm right, I win, and if I'm wrong and he just gets the double up into the Audino, I probably lose. Actually, I would probably even not put damage into the Garchomp. I'd probably put damage into the Heracross. So I make the wrong call here, but because we both go for the Protect plays. So I'm going to lose this game. But knowing Goomy said at the end, he's going to reveal Focus Sash later in this game. I think he made the wrong play here too. I think he always has to Close Combat even into Protect there, because this Poltergeist doesn't kill. In that case, it takes it down to 1 HP. In which case, he definitely just stops the Trick Room from going up. So here, like, my out is for him to misplay, let me get up Trick Room, and protect the goal lurk. Like, he's a good enough player that he's not just going to make a mistake in this end game, because he got the right reads that last turn, even if they were the risky ones given what his sets were. But definite good games to Goomy. I'm having a lot of fun so far in this league, and per Batista's recommendation, I am going to speed up the rest of this video through the end of the battle, but I will see you guys next week when I'm going up against other Dan Sakimoto in the beer cup. So that will be a lot of fun. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.